My name is Steve Averett. I'm with the City of Greensboro. I'm the manager for their GIS and Emerging Technologies division. I'm co-presenting today with Skip Daniel. Skip actually did a lot of the work on here. Ari did the dashboard you'll see in a little bit. So this is really a team effort, and I'm just kind of here representing my amazing team here that put a lot of hours into this. So one of the reasons we want to talk about this is because it was something new, right? I've been going to conferences for 29, 30 years now, and if you look at the agendas, a lot of things always kind of look familiar, and I've never seen anybody talk about a tool-on program. So we figured we would just try something new here. I don't know how many other cities are doing this. I think it's a fairly new concept, but the city started doing this last year in 2024. It's just a tool-on program where we have a couple big trailers out in by the Greensboro Sportsplex, and people would get online, fill out requests for tools, show up, and the city just basically loans them tools for a few days, and they bring the tools back. And last year, the program grew and grew throughout the year. We kept adding tools. Like I said, we started last year in 2024. The program functions from March 1st, October 31st, so it's through the times when people would mostly be outside working. Allows residents to check out tools for personal usage. We don't want commercial contractors coming in there taking our tools. It's really just for homeowners. We have 68 unique type of tools, multiples of each one of those. Last year in 2024, there was 474 tool rental applications submitted. They were all done using job form or just filled out by hand. Once the job form was turned in, it was printed, and the whole process ran through a notebook, through pieces of paper on a notebook, which, we hate that, right? We're all of us JS people. We don't want people doing stuff by paper anymore. So there was, and also they had no metrics or analytics around the data. Everything was just in a paper notebook. So if you want to know how many applications came in, you had to turn through the pages on the notebook. Over the past 6 months, we've been working with that staff to automate their program or put it into a digital realm. So they have a more professional method. This process started February 27th. Started taking applications on Survey 123. The old job form stuff went away, and again, we use Esri Survey 123 to replace that request form. The staff work process is comprised of multiple lightweight JavaScript applications now. So there's kind of lightweight applications for pickup, for return, for other processes of the workflow. The data related to the request and all the work processes is all stored in SQL Server now, access to our JS REST endpoints. The dashboards used to convey statistics to managers, administrators. We put this program out and invested money in it, but the staff really had no way to tell the city manager's office, how successful the program was, or even if tools were being returned. So the new process is completely paperless. It includes features such as email notifications to borrowers and integrations with GIS and other external systems. Daily pickup and return lists, so the staff can be more efficient. They know what's going out that day, what's coming in that day, so it kind of helps them with like a makeshift kind of inventory. There's also a do not loan list, so it lets the staff know if they should not be loaning tools to a certain individual. I will say the solution does not include an inventory component. We discussed that, but that was going to be so complex that if they needed inventory, they really needed to go to something like Salesforce or asset management or something like a more expensive solution. So the trade-off here was if you want inventory, you have to spend about $20,000 to $30,000. If you want it to be free, you get it without inventory. So that was kind of where we drew the line in the sand. And this has actually been really nice. We've and a lot of the lessons we've learned in this, we're carrying over to some other projects we have going on. Our fire department's been using Hexagon EAM for requisition for like T-shirts and gloves and boots and stuff, and we trying to get them away from that. EAM is really expensive, so if we can use a lightweight solution like this, there's no point in the fire department spending $40,000 a year in EAM licenses. So, and I'm going to jump out now and demo the application for you. Let's close. Make sure my VPN's still connected. Yep, cool. So real quick, yeah, I'm good. This is the Survey 123 form. Neighborhood Toolbox Tool Lending Center. Basically, a person just goes in, types in their name, Greensboro's been doing the pronoun thing, so that's in there. This is tied back to a rest service, so like when the person goes to put in their name, it's gonna force them to pick, a valid address within the city that's using one of our own geocoders, so it's city, or city addresses. So they can't just put in some random crazy address that's made up. They have to put in a valid address. They fill the form out. Is this where the tools will be used? This isn't necessary completely, but we assume they're using them at home, but they may live at one address, but rent the tool to use at their mom's house or something, right? So we just kind of want to know that. Then there's all the different tools here. See they're categorized like lawn and garden tools, shovels, rakes, carpentry and maintenance tools. There's a whole lot of them here. So you just check the tools that you want, and when you get to the end, put in a date you want to pick it up, you get to the end, hit submit. And then you're done, right? The request has gone into the city. At that point, what you're seeing here, this is the landing page for the staff. This is an internal app. I'm actually on the city's network right now, VPN in, so this is a demo system that we set up internally for this presentation. So the first thing that guys usually want to look at is like the daily pickup report. That way they know which tools to pull from the bins. Like if you go back to the 14th and say get pickup report, this person wants these tools, this person wants these tools. And you see it can be a lot of tools, right? So it helps the staff to be able to say, okay, let me get all these tools together. That way I'm not hunting and scrambling while people are here waiting. The person walks in to pick up their tools and they're all sitting right there in a pile. Same thing with the daily return report. Similar concept. If somebody, this is kind of the only inventory kind of mechanism we have, right? They can look at the daily return report and see what's coming in that day. And that way, if somebody wants to pick it up, they'll say, oh yeah, it's coming back in on Wednesday, and it'll, you can pick it up Thursday or whatever. Once you submit a report, it goes into these unprocessed applications, and you basically go in here. Let's go.
VPN's a little slow.
Yep. There we go. So this is her. There we go. This is her application here. This person wants to rent some tools. She's got her information from the form there. Typically, you can click on the submitted form and see like the form itself that she filled out. If everything's okay, you can. Actually, this is where you would sort of call the person and ask them for their driver's license number. And you would go in here and put in their license number, hit save. So now this person's going to have an ID in the system. That's their ID now. We're going to change her status to pick up since she's about to be approved here. We're going to say she can pick things up on the 24th. We've told her she needs to return them by the 27th. You can put some notes in here. You can actually go in here, if you talk to her on the phone, like she submitted that application and she's like, hey, I want to add something to it. Let's add a leaf rake. You can add leaf rake and boom, it just popped in here, leaf rake. So you just select, say, okay, she's going to pick all three of these things up, save it. And it's just taking a second. There we go. All right, and so then Sylvia comes in. She should be, oh no, yeah, there's, yep. Is this the same one? Yeah. Pick up. So Sylvia's come in. She's going to show us her driver's license, and we're actually going to take a picture of it. So once you take a picture with your laptop or Toughbook, which is what they use, like Toughbooks, they'll take a picture, then they'll say choose file, and they'll like add a picture in. And let's say she was scheduled to pick it up the 24th, but her actual pickup date, she was a day late and didn't come in until the 25th. That's fine. Then we can say generate receipt, and then check off the tools that she picked up. Once I hit save out and pick up, she'll get an email like verifying the date that she picked it up. Oh, yeah, right, yeah, sorry. So once she picks them up, her status goes into return. All right, we'll just jump to the next step. So the status goes to return. So when the person brings the tools back into return, we'll just pick some random person. This is really the cool part here. If there's an issue with the tools, like you can change the status to unclean or damaged. And if there's a problem with the tool, come on. Oh yeah, gotta check it. If there's an issue with that tool, you can change it to not clean or damaged, and they're gonna start charging people, if the tools are damaged or unclean, if they have to clean them. So the process will record all that. I forgot to mention, we have the county oblique imagery tied in here as well. So if the staff who's reading the tool out, if they want to just kind of see where the person's going to be using the tool, we'll jump right there. They don't really have to have that, but sometimes it's nice to know how big this person's yard is. If they got a whole bunch of tools, you're like, wow, where are they using these tools at? So just information to have just in case. It didn't take much work to add that in. So. But assuming the person, brought all the tools in, we would just say completed, and check all the tools they brought in. This was a big one. Sorry. And say return, and they actually would get an email confirming that they returned all the tools. There are cases where, there are cases where we have people who, where's your name at, Skip? Is it in the next one over, Skip? There we go. I just saw it pretty good. Yeah, so let's say Skip here wanted to borrow what's he asking for here? A handheld garden spade. We would pull that application up and we get a warning saying that Skip Daniels is on the suspended list. And so that's usually something bad, right? Somebody's done something bad. So we can jump over to the suspended access list to see what the deal is with Skip. Skip lost the 24-inch long handle pruner and didn't return it. Yeah. So
right here.
they were clearly lost. So Facebook Marketplace this afternoon, long handle pruner. So,
I think we take them off.
yeah. So this afternoon I'll be able to unactivate Skip since he's going to bring those back today. And if we hit save applicant, it'll take Skip off. So, yep. So now if we go to suspended access list, see, yeah, Skip's off the access list now. So,
But there's still a history of me. It doesn't get rid of me. It just means I'm not active anymore.
yeah, he's just inactive on it. Yeah. You can also do like an app search. Let's see. Oh. What just happened there?
Do you still get the warning flag if they're not active?
No, you'd have to go look. So you can, the cool thing is a person doesn't have to fill out the Survey 123 form. They can, if they just come in and want to get something, they just stop by and say, hey, can I grab a rake real quick? If they're already in the system, you could do an application or an applicant search and just pull it up that way and boom, start the process like in mid-flow there. We're getting short on time, so let me jump over to the dashboard. Already built this. And this basically just tells the program managers and the department heads and the city manager's office what they want to know about the tools. Top tools that are loaned, hey, which tools do we need to buy more of? Do we need more pressure washers, more lawn mowers, whatever? There's a total, one thing they were really interested in was the number of applications, but also the number of unique customers. Because like last year, they had 474 applications, but they had no idea how many were unique, right? It could have been 10 people just written stuff over and over and over. So this gives them an idea, of how many unique customers there are. If you choose by city council district, you'll get numbers per district. Of course, city council always wants to know what's happening in their district. So top referral sources, like if you live in District 1, and this usually looks better on a bigger screen, but it tells you like what if it was the website or a QR code they saw somewhere, it tells you the top sources. And that's pretty much it for today. Like I said, we just wanted to show something kind of unique that we don't see a lot of out there. Does anybody have any questions yet? Or go ahead. So Sheila, put my glasses on now.
So how are the fees, the damage fees
There's,
collected?
they're not right now. They're going to later this year, and they're going to do it through Salesforce. Yep.
So now's the time to get a tool and not return it.
Yeah. Skip. Kent.
How much of it is out of the box versus how much customization and,
Out of the box.
well, out of the box?
It's on what box you're talking about, yeah. Survey 123 is pretty straightforward, and the experience builder here is pretty straightforward, and all the stuff in between is all custom JavaScript.
JavaScript?
Yep.
JavaScript 4.
ES6,
Okay.
and you're just using your ArcGIS REST API, the JavaScript API.
Gotcha.
And it's running off of 6 services. Only one is a feature, the other 5 are tables,
Gotcha.
with one of the tables having attachments for the IDs.
Got it.
We attempted to do this all with Survey 123,
Sure.
and the Survey 123 form grew out of control, and after a month or two invested in that,
Yeah.
we just abandoned it.
Figured it out.
Yeah, we were like,
700 lines.
Yeah, it'd be easier to write it yourself.
yep.
Gotcha.
So we learned a hard lesson. Do you have a question in the back?
Yeah, I was curious, you said that there's not an inventory aspect, but what do you do if someone, selects a tool and then you don't have enough of those tools for everyone that has selected it?
When the person does a request, the staff will process it, and they can look at, what's supposed to be checked out that week. And so it's still small enough that they can just eyeball it, and, there's 68 unique type of tools. There's maybe 1,000 tools total. So they just kind of know, the same guy kind of runs it most of the time. So he just sort of knows what's going in and out. If he's out of town on vacation, the person coming in will need to go look at these daily lists, these daily pickup reports, and see what's going out. And that way,
And then my second question was, it's a tool loan program, but there's a small fee to, get the tools. Is that-
no, there's no fees at all. None at
I
all.
think it would be, I see how many tools and stuff, but I think it would be cool to maybe use FEMA values or something to show return on investment to what you're saving the community.
That's a really good idea. Yeah, we hadn't thought of that yet. That's,
What do you say from the residents of Greensboro?
yeah.
Every year, what's really
Yeah, so often we just get in a rush to build these things, and we don't have time to think about that. That's really, really, really good point. So, yeah. All right. Thanks, guys. I appreciate y'all coming in.